Let's take you straight to eSwatini, where police say they will continue to work with their counterparts in South Africa to ensure that the two suspects linked to the murder of Kiernan Forbes are extradited to answer for the crimes they allegedly committed. The suspects are expected to appear in court next Tuesday, and this is when the extradition process is expected to be formalized. Newzroom Afrika's Mweli Masilela is in Mbabane in eSwatini, following the story for us from that side. Mweli, good morning. Let's hand it straight to you. Tell us what's the latest.
Yes, indeed, the police here in eSwatini have actually been hailed for the work they've done after that provisional application that was made by South Africa to ensure that those suspects are actually contained here in eSwatini and they don't evade arrest. But let's bring in the spokesperson currently of the police in eSwatini, Assistant Superintendent Motsoane. If you can give us the latest, we understand that there's still one person at large and you are still looking for that person. How is the investigation so far?
Thank you very much to viewers. Actually, what we know is we got a communique sometime last week from the SAPS regarding suspects who allegedly were hiding in the country of eSwatini. Then immediately we rose up and then started searching for them. And then luckily we were able to apprehend them on Saturday morning. Fortunately, when we found them, there were just the two of them, the ones that we currently have in our custody. Information we have is that in the past days there were three of them, but then the other one seemingly he left the country to whichever destination that we are not currently sure of. So at the moment we just have the two that we found on Saturday morning.
If you could tell us how difficult in terms of your side as the police in eSwatini to ensure that you get hold of these suspects?
I can't really say it's difficult or easy because investigations depend on probably the people that you are dealing with and probably the areas in which they are hiding. But then this time around, I think the police did a great job, because seeing that we only had a week with the information, but then before the week ended, we already had positive information, positive information which led to the arrest of the two that we currently have in our custody.
And then a lot has been said also to say that they are concerned about the borders being porous, the fact that people manage to come from the South African side to make it their way into eSwatini. Are these kind of incidents something you are familiar with?
Actually, I can probably say yes, we are familiar with such, not only when it comes to people who have done bad against the law, but even other innocent citizens who probably do not have the correct papers to use when coming in or going out, which is an issue, because sometimes we then find that the wrong people enter the country or the wrong people leave the country. But then we try by all means to have our officers at the police gates looking out for such people who do not use the correct ways of leaving the country.
I'm interested to know also in terms of the charges, because so far what we know is that you had to act because of that provisional arrest request from South Africa. Are there any charges that they are facing, especially the site, considering the fact that they came to the site unlawfully?
In as much as I cannot go deep into what is happening currently, but what we know is that initially we were planning on charging them for being illegal immigrants. But then I think after talking to the prosecution office, it was agreed that we only give out to them the provincial immigration. Hence, for now, they are being charged with that, and we are currently working on the papers that will see them being extradited back to South Africa.
Talking about the extradition process, when can we expect that process to kick in, and how long perhaps is it going to take for you as well as the South African counterparts to ensure that they get back to South Africa? In fact, when can we expect the two suspects to be back in South Africa?
Unfortunately, I cannot give a specific time, because court processes have their own ways and own time frames that they probably use. But what we can say is that next week, Tuesday, they will be appearing again at the magistrate court for another remand. But then if the process of extraditing them will be, as soon as it is over, then they will be taken back in conjunction with the SAPS, of course.
All right, thank you very much for talking to us. That's Assistant Superintendent Motsoane, who speaks on behalf of the eSwatini Royal Police here just giving us an update in terms of what is happening on the ground. She says that they'll make sure that they continue working with their South African counterparts, and the 2 suspects will be appearing in court on Tuesday, and they will ensure that those processes unfold to ensure that they are extradited so that they answer to those cases that they are alleged to be involved in.
Mweli, Masilela, thank you very much for that update. An angle from the eSwatini perspective on the extradition of the 2 suspects still being held there. You heard from police that they're likely, well, they will appear in court next week, and it also depends on how the administrative process is coordinated for them to appear back on South African soil. You heard as well some of the charges, immigration-related charges that they are currently being held on there.